Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So XRP continuing to grind up. I woke up this morning, XRP was trading at 69 cents, right now trading at 69.1. So we did see a bit of an increase overnight. You know, XRP was trading at about 65, increased a little bit. I mean, nothing to get too excited about, but I'm just looking at this and, it's looking pretty, guys. The trend is continuing in the right direction. Of course, in the very short term, we do need to break 73 cents, give or take. And, in the longer term, of course, we need to break that inter-year high of about $2. So can we do it? Could XRP go up 400% in the next little while, bringing it above $2? Well, there is some evidence that suggests that it will. Today, we're going to look at some historic patterns in the chart and, kind of take a look at what we've seen in the past, how XRP has rallied after specific correction structures have been printed on the chart. And so we're going to take a look at this. Of course, we got to also keep in mind that Bitcoin is still the beating heart of the market. And, just as of the last couple of minutes or so, we're seeing Bitcoin come down a little bit. So Bitcoin trading right now at about 35,200. And so overall, though, guys, again, this is Bitcoin on the hourly, higher highs, higher lows. Everything is just kind of pushing upward slowly but surely. This is ultimately what we have seen before, so I'm feeling positive about this. And, the FLR networks did give us an update back in April. The FLR distribution or Spark tokens will start when the FLR network goes live. The team is working to make this happen safely as soon as possible. It is dependent on the finishing security testing. We expect this at the end of June, plus or minus 2 to 4 weeks. Well, we are now in July, and some people down here, like Agent Smith V3, is asking for an update. So please update. He posted this yesterday, T+3 or T-28. Please update again 49 minutes ago, T+4 or T-27, meaning it's looking like it's not going to be minus any week. So what should we expect? Now that we are in July, a lot of people wondering about this. Of course, I know a lot of you guys are really, really anxious to get your Spark tokens. Well, DJ Peter Vass here on Twitter posted this, an article just out from the Daily HODL. FLR unveils plan to send 100 billion Spark tokens to XRP hodlers in a massive airdrop. So let me read you guys a little bit of this. FLR Network's much anticipated airdrop to XRP hodlers appears to be set in stone. So there is a final plan, guys, with the final plan for distribution confirmed. FLR, which is planned for months to airdrop Spark tokens to hodlers of XRP, is for the first time outlining how the distribution will happen. Once the network goes live, FLR says that each eligible hodler will immediately receive 15% of their claimable Spark tokens and then claim an average of 3%, so an average of 3% per month, carrying on for a minimum of 25 months and a maximum of 34 months. FLR says the slow rollout is designed to try and prevent excessive sell pressure or other negative effects on the Spark token. So they said that on their website here, FLR.xyz, and this is linked in that article here, so you guys can get to that from here. But I guess I could link this in the description as well, just giving you guys some more information on the formula and how much is claimable, depending on how much you hold. The snapshot was already done back in December of last year, so it is too late to be able to claim Spark tokens based on the XRP you hold. But anyway, this is a good resource regardless, so I will link this in the description. So they want to prevent the excessive sell pressure. A lot of people will receive their FLR Spark tokens and think to themselves, look, I got these Spark tokens, I can just add this to my portfolio and cash out when the bull run is done. But FLR has said, no, we're not doing it that way. We don't want there to be excessive sell pressure, and we don't want there to be, that fluctuation, that heavy volatility for the Spark token. So they've decided to do it this way. Here's a quote. It has always been our stated position that the best people to provide capital to underpin the trustless issuance of XRP on FLR are people who own XRP. The only way to achieve this fairly is, in our opinion, the distribution of Spark that is taking place. Rather than embracing FLR and Spark for the utility it creates, a certain percentage of people will wish to claim Spark only because they believe it is free money. And so this is exactly it, right? If you're getting more cryptocurrency, how is that ever a bad thing? To reduce the negative effects from this dynamic, the amount of liquidity that can be put into the market at any one time is therefore limited by the extended unlock process. And so you got to think of this almost kind of like the XRP escrow, right? If too much XRP is released into the ecosystem, that will create a huge supply of XRP, and therefore, depending on many different things, price will likely plummet if that were the case. And so Ripple has decided once a month they unleash 1 billion XRP into the ecosystem, and then put some back in if there still isn't that utility that where XRP is needed at that point in time. And so we've been doing this for months now, and when I say months, I mean really years, multiple months, and it's going to continue until the escrow is completely drained. At least that's my understanding of it. Let me continue with FLR though. So FLR Networks and its native Spark token aim to essentially bring smart contract capabilities to various blockchain networks, starting with XRP and then Litecoin. FLR previously said that they would allow the community to decide, and then that kind of got kiboshed. They ended up going with their original plan here. Here's the tweet from Hugo Fillion just kind of outlining, I made a mistake invoking governance over the distribution. I am canceling the proposals. The distribution will remain 15% and then 3% per month. The previous decision to let the community decide on distribution was partially fueled by concerns over tax implications. FLR says anyone concerned about tax obligations can opt out of the 3% monthly distributions. Well, you guys earn your Spark tokens. Are you really going to opt out of the 3% because of tax implications? I mean, you got to pay the tax man at some point. Tell me down in the comments what you plan to do. That's the update on FLR Networks and Spark. Of course, we are still waiting for that date. And I just got to say, I missed it at the beginning of this video. I wanted to say, happy 4th of July to everybody celebrating. It is a holiday today. There isn't too much news going on, although I did want to point to this. This is Stefan Hubert here on Twitter. I'm sorry, but the only cryptocurrencies for which there will actually be a super cycle are those with ISO 20022 certification. It's as simple as that. So the ISO 20022 standard, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. It is the standard that the global financial system will be running on, finalized by the year 2025, if that hasn't changed. But Stefan Hubert here brings up a very good point. So he's looking at cryptocurrencies like XRP, Algo, XLM, XDC, ADA, and IOTA. And the reason he brings that up is because of this interledger protocol family and ISO 20022 ecosystem flowchart here, just kind of outlining, some of the different cryptocurrencies and technologies that are seamlessly integrated into the ISO 20022 standard, like IOTA, Ripple down here, the interledger protocol using XRP. Of course, we've got R3, and R3 has the capability to settle with many different cryptocurrencies. Corda using the ISO 20022 standard. We've got IBM over here, and we know that they are partnered with Stellar. Algorand over here to the right, Algo with Circle and the USDC. We've got XFin, TradeFinex, and the XDC coin. So this is going to be the standard, guys. And so with regards to what Stefan is saying here, the super cycle, a bull run super cycle, meaning will we even see a bear market for certain cryptocurrencies? Now, that's debatable. I mean, I think a lot of this would have to do with timing. I don't know. That could possibly happen during the next bull run. But right now, we're still at the mercy of Bitcoin. We are still, this is still in its infancy. We still haven't seen that real world adoption yet at that large scale. We have seen a little bit, but, just not as much as we'd like to at this point in time. Of course, Ripple is still in court fighting the SEC. I think there will be a lot of clarity that comes out of that decision. And that's just the United States. I also wanted to point this out. The future is ISO 20022. A separate tweet here from Overseer on Twitter, just outlining, some of these things with regards to ISO 20022 that is really going to make a difference. So several major markets around the world have announced plans to adopt ISO 20022 payment messaging standards in response to regulatory mandates or in conjunction with the development of new systems and/or technology upgrades. Given these global developments, the stakeholder group was formed to assess the desirability of U.S. adoption of ISO 20022 payment messaging standards. Again, guys, this is directly from a document published by the United States Federal Reserve System. The stakeholder group evaluated whether ISO 20022 adoption is necessary for U.S. corporates engaged in global trade, their financial institutions, and their domestic wire and ACH payment networks to remain interoperable/competitive with other markets, and 2, for the U.S. dollar to maintain its attractiveness as a global currency. So they are obviously looking into this. There's more information down here. I'm not going to get into all of it, but just even looking at the global scan, the degree of ISO 20022 adoption varies right now across the globe. What they found is that Europe has mature adopters with ISO 20022 embedded in their payment infrastructures. We've got countries like India, South Africa, Japan, Singapore, and Switzerland are countries with growing adopters. They have clear implementation plans for ISO 20022 and a broad support among market players for the standard to be included in several elements of the national infrastructure. And then also we've got Australia, Canada, the UK, and New Zealand. They're countries that are interested adopters with commitments to use ISO 20022 for new payment initiatives. So again, the United States looking into this. But, I think at the end of the day, every country, it's going to be like RippleNet in a lot of ways. These countries will have to jump on board if they want to be part of this new financial system. If they are going to stick to the old technology, I just don't think that is going to cut it. And so just down here, observations on the US market with regards to this, some positivity here, global momentum, large US corporates and banks are actively adopting ISO 20022, and that is expected to continue. Global competition, compatibility with ISO 20022 format enables the US to maintain parity with other global markets and US dollar clearing systems in other jurisdictions that are adopting ISO 20022 messaging, which may help preserve the attractiveness of the US dollar as a global currency, cost savings and processing efficiency, standardizing message formats, allowing for consolidation of payment platforms at banks and corporations, which could promote straight-through processing and drive down costs. Consistent and rich data. The ISO 20022 format enables all parties to leverage a common set of data dictionary elements and expands capacity to carry rich data in the payment message. And interoperability. A common format promotes ease of transacting domestically and globally by using a single open standard rather than multiple proprietary standards. And it goes on down here. Some phases of the plan, some recommendations. Again, I'm not going to read everything, but just to point out, the US definitely will jump on board with ISO 20022, I think, at some point. This is just, a document kind of outlining the pros and cons, what other countries are doing. And to Stefan Hubert's point, the only cryptocurrencies that really will thrive, I think, in this, new financial framework are going to be those that are going to ultimately have the utility and more specifically be on the ISO 20022 standard. It won't be just those coins. There are many other cryptocurrencies out there that don't deal with finance, but that deal with other applications that will be utilized around the world for different purposes. And so, at the end of the day, it's the coins with utility that are really going to be the coins that make a difference. But right now, guys, we are in a spec market and, at the mercy of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is retracing a little bit right now. Let's bring up XRP. XRP still trading in at around 69 cents, give or take. Well, guys, I got to mention this. I saw this from Mr. Miller at Mr. Miller_21 on Twitter. XRP, this is an interesting trend that he's pointing out. I can't predict when, but could we continue the trend and get a 400% rally soon? Well, if we look at the history and we look at these corrective structures on the XRP chart, what the chart is telling us is perhaps what we could see is a 400% correction next. Now, he brings this up on the daily, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this up also on the daily, so XRP on the daily here, and whoops, that's the hourly. Let me just put it on the daily, and I'm going to kind of outline what Mr. Miller is seeing here on the chart. So again, XRP on the daily. Of course, back in November, we saw that first surge for XRP. Then the SEC lawsuit was announced. XRP did crash, reconsolidated, came back up, pumped up during that pump group time back in late January, early February. More consolidation. Then what did we see over here? We saw another pump up, right, in the spring, March, April 2021. And then that breakdown again, and then we saw another correction back in June, coming right back down here to about 50 cents, 50 and a half cents. And now we're seeing XRP back up to 69 cents. So what can we derive from all of this information? Well, let's take a look at what Mr. Miller is seeing here and see where XRP could realistically go next, and then we're going to confirm this with some other indicators. So that ABC correction, you guys can see it over here. Of course, we did see an ABC correction, right? That first pump up, that correction, the A correction, a B retrace, and then that big lay down, which formed the C, and then consolidation, guys, right in and around here, right? Okay, let me just kind of draw that out for you guys to show you where the consolidation phase occurred. And so what Mr. Miller is showing here is that after this, so that is the equivalent to this, after this, what we saw was a 200% correction, if you guys can see that up there. From the time of the consolidation period to the top of that trend right up here, if I were to put an arrow right there to just kind of show where that is, right up there, okay? So 200% as per Mr. Miller's calculations. We then did see another ABC correction right in here. Okay, coming right back down. And then more consolidation. You guys can see more consolidation here. Kind of continuing on from late February to about early April of 2021. And then that finally resulted to another high, that inter-year high that we saw for XRP in and around $1.96. Okay, and that happened right up there. And as you guys can see up here, that was a 320% correction. Now what is happening? We are seeing the same thing happen on the chart. So this is mid-April 2021, the A, B, C correction. Okay, bringing us right down here. Okay, and this wasn't too long ago. Now we are seeing that accumulation phase once again, slowly moving up, grinding to the upside. Again, we got to remember it happened once in early January. It happened a second time in early March. And now we're over here, guys, early July 2021. But the question is, how long is this going to last, right? We don't really have an indication as to how long this could take. I mean, it could take longer, it could take shorter. We don't really know. But what we have seen in the past is this period of accumulation, this period of a slow grind up, low volume here on the chart here. Mr. Miller also demonstrates this low volume. I don't know what exchange he was using and what chart this was grabbed from because I don't have those same volume bars here, but he is certainly demonstrating low volume, high pump up, low volume, high pump up, low volume, high pump up. That's what we are or should be expecting this next coming time around. So let's go back to our chart here and maybe kind of do a little bit of a fun experiment here. How long did this take? So this took about 29 days. This is about a month before we saw that next move up. And then from here to about here, this is about 34, 35 days here. So again, about another month from this low, all the way to this point in time here, where we saw XRP just kind of break out and make that inter-year high of about $2. So what could that mean, guys? Could it mean that we could see this happen over the course of about a month, maybe 5-6 weeks, give or take? And that would bring us, guys, to roughly the beginning of August. If you guys look down here on the chart, that would bring us to the beginning of August. I have 41 days here, just kind of extending it a little bit from what we have seen over here. 29 days to 35 days. 40, 41 days I don't think would be out of the question necessarily. Of course, just following the pattern of what we've seen historically. And again, we cannot predict time. This is one of the hardest things, and I'd even say impossible to really predict time on this. I'm just kind of gauging based on what we have seen in the past. But what does that mean, though? That means XRP grinding to the upside. And then from here, what could we expect next? Well, if we had 200, then 300, that means that we can expect a 400% increase right up here, meaning XRP could potentially see a price of about $2.56 by August. Okay, that's only about a month away. So is this feasible? Is this a possibility? And what is going to happen at this point in time? Well, guys, I'm going to zoom out on the XRP chart and just throw a Fibonacci down here, guys. And as you guys can see, oops, right in here, if I throw the Fibonacci from the top of the trend in the last bull run to the bottom of the trough of the bear market, you can see that this lines up exactly with the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level, $2.56, at least on this exchange particularly. So ABC corrections followed by periods of accumulation before another move up. We saw 200, 300. Could we see 400% in the next rally, bringing us to the 0.786 Fibonacci retracement level, which would ultimately bring us to a $2.56 XRP? And what's more exciting, could we see this by next month? I saw this clip floating around on Twitter, The Secret of Getting Rich. It's only about a minute long. It was tweeted out by Jeannie at Reborn13, and I wanted to play it for you guys because I feel like, we're all in the same boat in a lot of ways. Listen to this.
I don't have any money in a retirement account. I don't have money in a 401k. I don't have equity in a house. I got all my money in real estate that pays me every month. I'm a freak. But I'm all in. I'm all in, man. I'm all in. You study the wealthiest people on this planet. They find 2 or 3 things and they put all their money in those 2 or 3 things. They do not invest in 50 things. How many of you have been told that before? Diversify, diversify, diversify. How many have been told that before? That's not what rich people do. The super wealthy do not diversify.
The diversification is a terrible mistake.
The super wealthy put all their energy, all their time, and all their effort in 1 or 2 things, and that's it. Once they get super rich, then they diversify. That's not how they got rich. If you study super wealthy people, they all create wealth in one bucket.
So the super wealthy all create wealth in one bucket. Now, I know when I tell you guys to diversify, I'm talking about diversify within your crypto portfolio. But cryptocurrency, guys, that's one asset class. And I've got the majority of my investments in that asset class. Are we all going to get rich together? Tell me down in the comments what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.